I'm just letting you know.
I taught you a lesson last week, and you still don't want to learn.
I'm just letting you know. Hey, keep staying tuned in to Speak all year long, because when the Cowboys get this thing turned around, I'm going to act a fool.
Okay. He said he was going to act the fool. Now, Shady, you said last week that James Jones did want to learn. You said he was hard-headed.
He is hard-headed.
Is what you said. You know what they say about, you know what I'm saying? Look, now 2-5, do you owe James Jones? Do we owe James Jones an apology?
For what? No. For what? Why? For that little game they beat? Listen.
Biggest loss ever.
That little game.
Handed Bill Belichick his biggest loss ever.
I got to be a little game.
How do we feel about Bill Belichick right now?
Great defensive mind.
How do we feel about Bill Belichick right now?
Average head coach.
Okay. How do you feel about the Patriots?
Average.
All right, so they beat an average team. Cool.
Killed an average.
Listen.
That haven't been killed, neither, though.
The Jets and the Patriots will be battling for the last place in the AFC East.
That's true.
True or false?
That is true.
So what are we... I mean, they supposed to beat them guys.
But last week you said he had to learn a lesson. And this week the Cowboys just handed Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches all time.
I get it.
All time. His worst loss.
Ever.
29 years he's been coaching.
The thing with your man to the left, him.
Just don't want to apologize.
Well, him is the thing is like, listen, I said that, they should probably win this game. But anything's possible. They showed that when they lost to the Cardinals, but we're not going to get hyped about, we owe him an apology because he beat the Patriots.
Let me ask somebody.
Not Tom Brady Patriots, these Patriots.
Let me ask somebody else, and Shady don't know how to say sorry. Joy, do we owe James Jones an apology? Do we? Do we, the people?
No, my bro.
Whisper it.
I love it. But what do we didn't think the Cowboys were going to lose every game for the rest of the season, right?
We didn't.
We thought that you picked them to beat the Patriots this weekend.
Yes, I did.
I picked them to beat the Patriots this weekend. I thought they would win.
Because y'all believe.
And I bet on them, Joey. And I bet on them beating them.
No. I believe they were going to beat the Patriots this weekend. So no, I can't. We're going to save the apologies for the end of the season. There's a lot of football left to play.
When you see the handing Bill Belichick the worst loss ever, obviously Bill Belichick is most notably the greatest coach ever. Shady would have some disagreement. I would have some disagreement. But he is colloquially the greatest coach to have ever coached a game of football. And the Cowboys handed him his worst loss in 29 years, 29 times 16 games. You're talking over 600 games as a head coach. Does that say
I mean, it's a beautiful headline. It sounds great when you say it. Say it one more time.
29 games, 29 years.
No.
Worst loss ever.
There you go.
Worst loss
The
ever.
Cowboys handed Bill Belichick the worst loss of his career. It was really the Cowboys' defense, but we'll get into that later.
It's always that way.
Yeah.
James, the defense part of the team, right? You know, it just takes me back to when we in our speak meetings. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
And when we be in our speak meetings, man, my dog Shady, you know, sometimes he gets up there and he acts a fool.
He does.
And he came at me one time in that meeting, and I believe it was recorded. He said,
what'd he say?
I don't want you to say I'm sorry. I just want you to say I was wrong.
But wait.
So that's all he wants to hear.
I just want you to say you was wrong, man.
Slow down, good brother. It's happy Monday. My question is, what did I say wrong? I said they were going to beat the Patriots. I said that. I picked them to beat the Patriots. I bet them to beat the Patriots.
You had zero faith in the Cowboys after they got beat up by the Cardinals. You was talking bad about Dak. You talking bad about the Cowboys. You was talking bad about all of them.
Time out. Did I say they were going to beat the Patriots?
You just said I don't know.
I said that, and I bet on that one money. Oh, before you go on,
yes, sir.
I'll say this, though. Yes, they beat a bad team, right?
They beat a solid team.
They're a bad team. And at the end of the year, we'll see a bad record. But my thing is, some things hasn't changed, like the red zone.
Sure. Sure.
They got there 4 times. They scored once.
That leads me to this question then, Shady. That leads me to really the serious question. Obviously, I don't know, you'll get your apology today. Maybe James a week from today. Cowboys play the Niners. Maybe you'll get it then.
That's when you'll get it.
Here is the important question. Who are the real Cowboys? Because last week, the Cowboys lost to the worst team in football, we all thought, the Arizona Cardinals. Clearly, the Cardinals are no longer the worst team in football by our imaginations. This week, the Cowboys hand Bill Belichick the worst loss of his career. So, America, I challenge you the same question as we're going to sit here and discuss it now. Who are the real Cowboys? James, in your mind, is it last week's team? Is it this week's team?
It's this week's team for sure. And the reason why I say this week's team is because through 4 weeks, they have showed us 3 games that this is the team they are, right? They fell asleep one game against the Arizona Cardinals, but For 3 games this season, they've been absolutely dominant, right? And yes, you can say it's the defense, but they have been absolute dominant on the football field when they are out there. Whether you talk about red zone woes or not, this team has been dominant for 3 out of the 4 weeks. So for me, this is the real Cowboys. Just like how a lot of people got Josh Allen as the MVP front runner right now, right? Everybody all of a sudden forgot about week 1 where he threw all those picks. It is a week-to-week league. Dallas fell asleep last week, but bounced back this week. But this right here is the real Cowboys. They are going to play really good defense, and we all said that last week. We all said that this defense will bounce back, and they will play really good defense, and they made plays on offense when they had to make plays on offense. And when you talk about the real Cowboys, this is the Cowboys team that me and you picked as one of the best teams, or the best team, you know, when they started off 2-0 in the National Football League, because this is what they shown us, that they could be dominant like this when they step on the field. This Patriots team, I know everybody looking at the record, but they were the average giving up 19 points on defense, right? The fewest big plays of any team in the National Football League. And you talk about good defense, they was playing good defense. And the Cowboys really just beat these boys down, up and down the football field. I thought this win was big for the Cowboys, especially in this type fashion.
Clear your throat, Joy, clear your throat.
Okay, well, I'm glad you just brought up that number. The real Cowboys are however the defense plays. That's the real Cowboys. So you said the Patriots defense.
Zero belief in that.
The Patriots defense was averaging, giving up 19 points, right? Dallas's offense scored 20 points. So the Patriots defense did what they always do. The Cowboys defense was responsible for the rest of the points on that board.
Break it down.
It's team game.
Break it down,
It is a
Joy
team
Taylor.
game,
Break it
except
down.
for one side of the ball is way better than the other side of the ball. And that side of the ball, the defense, sets up the offense to go score.
That's how you
and scores points on their own.
They do. A lot of them. A lot
of them. Let's talk about it. They single-handedly, the defense single-handedly beat the Patriots 14-3.
Yes, they did.
You want to cut special teams out, which also isn't Dak in the offense, 12-3. That's still kind of a blowout for an NFL game.
That's taken away from the Cowboys.
No, it's not, because what happened last week is what Shady and I were talking about. What happens? What does this Dallas offense do that can't score in the red zone when the defense doesn't put up points and put them in great field position? They lose to the Cardinals. I'm not saying Dallas isn't in a great overall team, because the defense is part of the team. The question is, can the offense pick the defense up when the defense has an off day, which might happen because it's the NFL. They're not going to have a perfect day all the time. They're not going to score points for you and put you in almost perfect field position every single week. So it's a great overall win. It is a very nice headline. It's the worst loss in Bill Belichick's career. It's great. They were still 1-4 in the red zone.
Whatever coffee she had this morning, I need that. I need that. Woo!
It's the same thing, man, huh?
Go ahead,
I don't know. I mean, you said everything I wanted to say. Man, all my notes you had, but that's correct. Like, the Cowboys team are the same team I thought they were. A super great, dominant, new generational type of defense. But that's not the issue. The issue is going to be the offense. Because them Niners, they're going to run the ball. They're going to have some success. They got a lot of good players. They're going to put points up. What happens when we need the Dallas Cowboys offense to put points up? It hasn't happened. They get in the red zone, another issue. The last 3 weeks been the same issue. They got to the red zone, they scored one time.
So Dak got to score
40.
Wait,
hold on. All field goals. Because listen, another thing is this. Matt Jones, right? The way he played, come on, that's high school stuff. You running across the field and you throwing all the way. That's the first rule is don't throw across your body. That's the first rule. Unless you're Patrick Mahomes. And he's not him. So my thing is like, good teams, Brock Purdy's not going to do that. You're not going to get this gimme pick sixes. You're not going to get gimme fumble scoop and scores. You don't get that. And then if you really want to talk about the Cowboys, right? Because defensively, I'm going to leave them on the side because they're great. Michael Parsons and them guys, they're playing excellent ball. But on the offense, I mean, let's look at the teams they played. The Cardinals, they have 1 win. They beat the Cowboys. The Giants, 1 win. Patriots, 1 win. The Jets 1 win. You sitting here bragging, beating your chest up. They done beat the worst teams in the NFL. You bragging about we need to give you an apology.
But Shady, here's my thought process.
You play who on your scale.
Oh, man.
Here's my thought process.
We gonna see this week though.
It's also how you win. Because in 2 of the Cowboys' 4 games, 2 of the Cowboys' 3 wins, they're not just winning, they have historic victories.
Thank you.
Okay.
Opening game, it's a 40-point shutout on the road. Haven't seen that in 24 years. That's historic. We're saying it very tongue-in-cheeky, but handing Bill Belichick the worst loss of his career. Keep in mind, he has been coaching nearly as long as I have been alive. So handing Bill Belichick the worst loss of his career, that is a historical victory. I think the Cowboys team we saw yesterday is the Cowboys team, because I only believe there are so many teams that can exploit some of the Cowboys' deficiencies defensively, not to mention, if you recall last week, Deron Bland's first game starting at outside in replacement for Trayvon Diggs. He had a much better game this week in his second game as a starter than he did last week in his first game starting on the outside. Usually he's the starting nickel back. So I think the Cowboys we saw yesterday is much more reflective of the actual Cowboys. Dak Prescott got one pick, y'all, through 4 weeks. One of them.
Why is that? Graham, I'm glad you said that. You're a host, you're good at this. You setting it up. You teed it up.
Yes, sir.
Why is that? Tell me why you think Dak Prescott out of 4 games, he has 1 pick.
In large part, first thing is first.
Give me all the parts, small and large.
Yes, sir. 1A, he's taking care of the ball.
Thank you.
That's 1A. That's 1A. Hold on. 1B, he has not been put in compromising positions to have to chase points. That's 1B.
Wait, break that down for America.
He's not, okay, what Shady's trying to get me to say, which is the truth is, the Cowboys have rarely ever been trailing outside of the Cardinals game, which just so happens to be the game he threw the 1 interception. So the Cowboys have rarely ever had to trail, so Dak Prescott hasn't had to press, and because he hasn't had to press, he hasn't thrown picks. But he still has not thrown picks. Meanwhile, Sam Howell, I believe, has 3 or 4 of them. Jalen Hurts, I believe, has 3 of them. Daniel Jones has 3 or 4 of them. So we do have to state the fact that Dak is protecting the football.
Okay, but elaborate a little more on protecting the ball. Because the other guys you're talking about, they actually throwing the ball deep.
Sure.
Coach, hey, this is the offense, do your thing.
That is true.
Now, what's the difference?
That is true, because yesterday we did see Jalen Hurts was airing that joint out.
And what they do with Dak Prescott?
A.J. Brown, 175 yards. That's the second highest ever in his career.
Yeah, tell the people what they're doing with Dak, though. What type of offense they running with Dak?
To Shady's point, we have seen a much more conservative run game, a conservative passing game, a conservative offense with Dak Prescott.
Okay.
But both things are true. Only 1 pick.
And I want to piggyback off that because at the end of the day, right, because every time we bring up the Eagles, right, it's all about W's, right? Okay. Is that what it's about? So that's the same thing for the Cowboys. It's all about winning. Mike wanted to take this thing over so he can make sure he took care of his quarterback, too, in that situation. So he can make sure that Kellen Moore is not just dialing up all these shot plays and putting him in that situation. So Mike is doing a much better job of making sure Dak Prescott takes care of this football. Is it turning into 40 points? Absolutely not. Can they get better in the red zone? Absolutely. If they were better in the red zone, it would make Dak Prescott and this offense even more, and he still ain't turning the football over. So I credit Coach Mike for calling the game the way he's calling it, knowing he has a big-time defense, and not really putting the ball solely in Dak's hands when you don't have to. And Dak is playing smarter with the football and taking care of the ball. I don't care how you slice it. Been out there 4 games, and he threw 1 pick, and that's big time.
Joy Taylor, what's funny about this whole thing? I've never been in business, right? Sports or not. This is regular business where you get a pay grade to do less. I've never been a part of nothing like that, but maybe you have. I don't know. Maybe you have.
I'm not. I haven't. I hear you. I really do. But if you're 30th out of 32, Shady, is that good or bad?
What you think, James?
It's not great. That means there's 2 teams.
Obviously.
There are 2 teams that are worse than the Cowboys in the red zone. I don't have any questions about this Cowboys defense.
Me either.
None. 0.
Me either.
They look generational. They look special. They look different than every other defense in the league.
Faster, all that.
They're basically perfect.
Do you think they could fix their red zone woes?
I mean,
we haven't seen it for 4 weeks. We haven't seen it for weeks.
I hope so. I hope so, because if they could fix the red zone, then I would not be as concerned about what the Cowboys are going to do when they aren't in a perfect situation.
And you got to move the ball to get down there to the red zone, right?
They're 3 for 4 in week 1 against the Giants, right? That was a blowout. Okay. And the defense scored points tonight.
They always score. When they win, they always score. Defense always scores.
To that score as well. Okay, 2 for 6 in week 2, 1 for 5 in week 3, and 1 for 4 this weekend.
But they down there though. It's fixable.
That ain't fixable.
It seems like it's fixable, but for the last 3 straight weeks, it's not been fixed.
How many of those games they lose?
3 straight weeks. 1.
1. Okay.
Cool. If you get into the postseason, which is what this Dallas Cowboys team is built to do, that's what the expectations are.
She ain't lying. She's
Who
not
do you
lying.
play in the postseason, Shady? Good teams or bad teams?
Because the Giants won't be there. The Cardinals will definitely not be there.
Good teams or bad teams?
She's right.
Good teams.
Come on.
Teams that are generally pretty balanced on both sides of the ball. Sometimes they're not, like the Cowboys.
Right.
What happens? Because what's happened the last 2 years where they've had a great defense and not been able to get it done.
I don't remember.
She talking to you.
I remember. They lost to the same team back-to-back years.
Yeah, James don't remember.
I got
Yeah, he don't. Yeah,
I got amnesia. Yeah.
a dude like Brandon Cooks, this is beside the point, but a guy like Brandon Cooks who can't wait to get to the Cowboys, and you think that he's gonna help to lift up the offense, and they rarely use him. They ain't throwing the ball deep. All that speed, all that experience is for.
It'll happen.
It's cool.
I love football.
And this week, right now, if they go down there to San Fran,
yes, sir.
right now, this week with an apology.
Okay.
If they win this game,
cut this out.
Hold on.
Cut this out.
I'm signing.
Hold on real quick.
Cut this out.
What if they win the same way they've been winning?
It won't happen like that. Defense ain't going to be getting on
What
this.
if they win the same way they've been winning? Good defense, Dak Prescott taking care of the ball, managing the game, and they win. Are you going to come in here and say it's all about the defense and one Dak and all that and not give this Cowboys team credit?
I can't see him doing that because I look at all the games from this year to last year. When the game gets tight and it's intense and it's clutch time and we need you to show the clutch team when you pay you $160 million, right, in your pocket, he don't show up. He gonna throw picks. You say you caught that? That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.